Put him in the common clutch and make him on the cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there will be. Acknowledge me.
How did Bad Blood go from being a B show to becoming an A show?
I'm digging it.
The level of matches in this seems like it's an A show. It doesn't seem like a B pay-per-view to me.
No,
That's
but
what I'm trying.
it also looks like it has a great little card on there.
This weekend, Bad Blood is happening. Cooter, are you excited?
We got an invite from Shapiro to go to his house. He says he knows that you don't have Peacock, so we can watch it over there.
I got Peacock. I got it. I pay my $5.99 or whatever.
Oh, you're on the poor people plan?
I just don't pay the pay-per-view prices. You know, I just try to sneak in where I can, offer a pizza or some donuts, and I get to watch pay-per-view for a lot less cheaper than it would be for paying for it.
Okay.
No, but you talked last week. How are you doing, by the way? You're coming off your birthday weekend.
Dude,
are you still
such a great hangover? Oh man, it was a great. My birthday was Friday, obviously. My girl's was on Tuesday. Woo-wee!
What a week.
Yeah.
Birthday week, man.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice. They kind of cancel, each other out. So, we just kind of had a good time,
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. This is it, man. I think we kind of have a little bit of AEW fatigue because I think when you went from an AEW pay-per-view to 2 weeks to another one with one show to build up to the other pay-per-view, kind of.
Was it one or was it two? Whatever it was, it doesn't matter.
But just the build for that, I think we're just fatigued from it, and I think I'm actually excited for this pay-per-view. That's why I'm feeling like it's like an A pay-per-view for the kind of matches they got on here.
Yeah, the same way we said last week that Raw is building Raw, as well as the PLEs. These are the long-term storylines, whereas like the short-term storylines for Raw have been excellent. Perfectly well timed, main eventing the show. But these long-term storylines that we're going to be talking about that are main eventing this show on the big premium live event.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait for some of these. These matches are.
No, it was no particular order. I think one of the biggest matches happening of the night is for I think one of the feuds of the year, if not the feud of the year. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Do you think Meltzer will give this feud of the year
3.5 stars? I don't know. What's the matter? Is it not in Tokyo? Is it not the Tokyo Dome? We're not getting 5?
No, it's going to be Okada versus the teleprompter.
Oh, Cody. Oh, my goodness. Whatever. We'll rate this, I think, next week. Maybe we'll bring back Shapiro. We'll rate Bad Blood and see if we can come up with another system besides syringes, because that was kind of an
thing. That's only for, okay.
So, one of the biggest, I think, feuds of the year, you have to argue, because how they kind of carried this feud throughout the year, throughout his injury of CM Punk to where we are now in a Hell in a Cell match. Are you excited for this match?
Absolutely. I mean, nobody thought in a million years that that wasn't the strap match that was last. It was the strap match that Punk won. Okay.
The first match he's won in over 10 years or whatever it's been.
God, isn't that crazy to say? Oh, my God. No, great match. And, yes, I want Gunther. No, you're not. You got to have the tiebreaker because this is how this goes. And when you have a blood feud that is as harsh as this one, you need Hell in a Cell. It's the end-all, be-all. It's always been the match to end all of the greatest feuds. And the first Hell in a Cell was at a Bad Blood. So here we go. Bring it back, dude. Let's end this properly. And the build has just been...
No, for sure. And, let's go back to the beginning of this, because in the beginning of the year, nobody was really talking about Drew to the extent they are now, because it was where CM Punk was injured, where Drew came back for mocking him and whatnot, that he was going to be out and so on and so forth. Coming right back for his first match, gets injured, then he's out.
Yep.
And Drew kind of looked like he was going to have nothing to do, right? They were going to try to find him something, but was able to keep into this feud and keep this feud going even while Punk was out. So that kind of shows a testament of keeping Drew as a main time player on the show. Just when you thought he was out, they pulled him back in, and they kind of saved his career with this whole Punk.
What I found interesting is that they used the title to really start this feud.
Yeah.
And it started at the Rumble. Punk gets injured. We go to Mania. He beats Rollins, and he rubs it in Punk's face. And Punk cost him the title. He had to cash him with Damian Priest. And now this feud just got hot. Now he's cleared. And we have finally SummerSlam, and you have the bracelet. And what I love about this booking is it's not all about the titles. They're using stupid things like bracelets, or like later down the road, we'll talk about Solo and the Ulafala. Like, these are just as important as the titles.
Yeah.
And to use these tiny little trinkets to forward a storyline that years ago we would have thought were insignificant. Now they're actually really cool.
No, for sure. And okay, so Punk's older like we are today, so he's a little bit older.
Speak for yourself. I get sexier every day, bro.
A few days older now, Cooter. But speaking for him to where he's been able to, even coming back from injury, he doesn't have to be on the show every week. They could span him out every other week for Punk in a way. And then this kind of match, this kind of build up kind of suits these guys who are a little bit older, who can't like do the 9 to 5 every day, every week. You put a character in like him where people are going to stay tuned to watch it, CM Punk, and it shows you how they can carry their characters and not like diminish them, if you will, to where like, oh, he's injured. Okay, we're just going to write him out. We're not going to see him for like 12 months. And then we have to figure something out for him to come back, to where they were at least able to crutch his absence with like this kind of thing that Drew was doing, where he'd like, call him out on TV. And even though we knew he was out, he continued their feud right here and there. So
I feel that way about all the characters. Like, do you remember when NXT was only like an hour?
Yeah.
And you know what was great about that is that we didn't see all the superstars every week.
No, yeah.
So you didn't get tired of it. Yeah, exactly. You spread it out. I feel like they could do that with anybody on the roster, not just the big name stars, because it gives the opportunity to somebody else. Hey, the last few weeks we've seen Punk cut a promo, Drew's not there. The next week, Drew's there, but Punk isn't. And I think it works very, very well, because if they're not going to be involved in any physicality, there's no need for both of them to be there. How many pull-aparts and back and forths do we really need to see at this point in the feud that's lasted since January?
No, exactly. And I think this goes to show you the testament of Triple H on how he knows how to run a professional wrestling show and just knows how to handle these guys, especially whether or not he's friends with whomever, but like a CM Punk, you didn't think he'd be doing this for kind of like a CM Punk.
Did you ever think in a million years after the pipe bomb promo,
this is where
it's just going to get taken over by his dumb son-in-law and his daughter? And meanwhile, it's like,
guess what?
You were right, but look, you're back, and you guys are doing great business and doing great stories.
Sure.
Great.
So, okay, predictions, because if who's walking out of this match? Drew won it, Punk won it. Now we're back to the third match. The rubber match. Are we gonna go? This is the back and forth. Are we gonna? Whoever wins this match is gonna be, you think, in the world title picture from now till maybe, I don't know, after Survivor Series, leading into Rumble, almost maybe leading to Mania.
I can't call these anymore because I feel like Triple H, he's got his thumb on the pulse, and I feel like, all right, the smart money would always say CM Punk because you want the face to go up against the heel.
Yeah,
and Gunther's not losing that belt. I don't care what anybody tells you. It is what it is. For McIntyre, do we want to see another heel versus heel? I mean, they had a great match with the triple threat with Sheamus, Gunther, and McIntyre at Mania. I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. And
I think Gunther and McIntyre have great chemistry. But is a heel versus heel going to sell? It might. And, you got your thumb on the pulse. You got to... I don't know. I think the smart money would say Punk, but I don't think he needs it. I think McIntyre does.
Yeah.
I want to see McIntyre win this feud, and I'm a huge CM Punk fan because I think it actually does more for both of them. I think it makes McIntyre more relevant, and it's not going to hurt Punk, and he could get put in a program where he can help get somebody else over or build his way back up to the title down the road.
Sure, and I'll play not devil's advocate, but I'll try to give you a little bit of a different twist. What I just thought of going after what you said.
Okay.
Yes, I think Drew kind of needs it. I think we need to see his credibility get lifted again to being a number one contender, to being put in a match against Gunther, to winning that championship. But do you keep Punk within this feud too, to where whatever happens from now till Mania, we get like a three-way at Mania for all three of these guys?
Pause, bro.
A three-way for one.
Pause.
It's for the championship.
Oh, my apologies. Okay.
So if I was going to book it, okay, do you put there's a lot of different ways where you're going to say, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But if you give this to Drew, he goes against Gunther, then he eventually wins it. Then does this lead back to a Mania moment for him? Or do you not put it up? Then does it go to Punk? And then, kind of same kind of thing to where they have a little bit of a thing, and then Punk finally wins it off of Gunther. And then we're at WrestleMania again to do a Drew versus Punk thing. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, this feud, I think, is going to have to end at Mania for them because they didn't get to have their Mania match. So whatever's going to happen, I think if they win it from Gunther from now till then, we're going to see a CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre WrestleMania match for the title.
Well, as of right now, we are recording before the go-home shows. I don't think Gunther has a match on this card. Mm-hmm. But they're getting ready for Sammy and Gunther, right?
Yep.
After Sammy, you took Jey Uso out of the equation. He's the IC champ. What other faces have you built up that are going to be relevant enough to go up against him? It's either going to be Punk or it's either going to be a heel versus McIntyre because at this point right now, you really don't have anybody positioned to be that next guy.
Yeah, and they really got to get that world title back in the picture, I think, back on the show to show that it's a world title. This is their championship for Raw. They got to put that back on the map for Raw. So I think putting that in the forefront of stuff is what's going to happen. So going into another match, we got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, former Judgment Day teammates going against each other. Balor seemingly kind of kicked him out, if you will, or whatever happened. But I think Judgment Day almost went from a joke to like being one of the best stables of the year, if you will, of like how they built them. Yeah, you might not like the name or whatnot, or who's in it right now, or how they've kind of like added people, but they've still kept this group one of the strongest groups or one of the stables in WWE. So I mean, having this whole split in this kind of a match, does it elevate Balor? Is Balor gonna ever get back to that main event roster picture? I mean, Damian Priest is kind of there with the world title for a little bit. What do you give Finn now? Because I feel like you made him the Universal Champion, then he was injured, and then he was never made like another main roster champion since then.
Never again. They never had the faith because it's Vince. He's too small. Unless they somehow break him out of that group, and that's going to take time because you got to find the right story and you got to find the right way to get him out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible. I would love to see a face Finn Balor, demon Finn Balor versus a Gunther. I don't think it's feasible to do with him as a member at the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying him as that little toady heel runaway guy. Mm-hmm. He pulls it off very well. I mean, when you're facing somebody the size of a Damian Priest and you're pretending to be the tough guy, even though you know he's bigger than you, and you're kind of sticking and moving. He plays that part so well.
Yeah.
His in-ring psychology and just the things that he's doing to further this feud is just really, really great.
I'm a Finn Balor fan. I would love to see him win against Damian Priest. But once again, you have Damian Priest coming off losing the world championship and trying to still be, a credible threat, if you will. So I think it might go to Damian Priest getting this upper hand in this one, unless there's some Judgment Day,
there's going to be some.
Yes.
Yes, there has to be, yes.
So, I mean, for what's happened, I think, but seeing these two, I hope they kind of put it to a rest after this match. I don't want to see them just nonstop feuding with each other. I want to see the split finally. I want to see Rhea split from Judgment Day and Dominic, which we'll get into next. I want to see her. I want to see Damian split from just stories with him. I want to see him in a new story with somebody else after this. So, I don't know.
I don't know if it still has legs and it's still working. I'd stick with it. But we'll get into that next. Go ahead.
No, yeah, sure. So at the end of the day, who are you going to pick if you had to pick right now?
Right now, the smart money is on Damian Priest, but I'm with you. I think Balor needs this. I think Priest is one of those guys. He just lost the belt. Let's elevate somebody else. But again, when you're looking at the title picture, he doesn't necessarily need to go for the world title. I'm going to pick Finn Balor, and I'm going to say that's going to be a great little feud. Finn Balor, Jey Uso is coming up next. How about that?
If I wish you were booking, man, that's a perfect thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to pick Finn Balor too. I think he needs something. I don't think it's going to hurt Priest, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe you can kind of see why he kicked him out. I don't know.
How about this for an idea?
All right.
Rhea's going to get involved in that somehow. And somehow maybe he hurts Rhea or whatever, and maybe Jey Uso takes, he's a little upset about it, I don't know, maybe just some bullshit booking here. Just throwing out some ideas, but I love that idea of a Finn Balor, Jey Uso main eventing with an IC title. Look at this. Get Rhea. She's got the involvement with the Judgment Day. She's got involvement with Jey Uso. Ooh, did you see that video of her yeeting when he won?
Yep.
That was one of the coolest things. That's the thing.
New alliance with him, yeah. So.
I'm enjoying the use of social media where they're throwing all these extra clips that you're not seeing on SmackDown and so on. I mean, this is some of the coolest ever.
That's exactly, yep. No, perfect. Sorry. All right. I mean, I think it's going to be a good match between these guys. We'll see what happens with them both. But, keeping within that Judgment Day realm, we have the Women's World Championship. The champion, Liv Morgan, versus Rhea Ripley, with Dirty Dominic Mysterio suspended above the ring in a shark cage. Got to sell those toys, Cooter. We got to sell those shark cages we made last year was it last year or a few years, I feel like. When was the last time we've seen this shark cage? It's been a little bit.
It's been a while.
Maybe I think Enzo was in the last shark cage. I think it could have been somebody else too, but I think it was Enzo.
And that might have been like at SummerSlam or some there, right?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
What do you think of this? I mean, Rhea's a top star. She was main evented her own pay-per-view this year, or PLE. She's, is this the last Judgment Day thing? Do you think she's going to get the upper hand in this match, or do you think this kind of rivalry has been good? I mean, do you think she needs the belt too? She had to give up the championship while she's injured. She came back, Liv had it, or won it, and now we have it. Does it need to go back to Rhea? Do you think they're going to want that, or you just keep it on Liv?
Dude, this is another one.
I know.
And this is the greatest thing about this era of booking. Listen, I usually have a pretty good, how do I want to say this? A really good percentage of my choices.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man and you could bet on this, I'd probably do pretty well. Lately, these are things that I just and I actually enjoy that. I like the fact that I can't call it. I like the fact that I can't pick. I mean, as a fan, I like Liv. I love this storyline. I love this. We're controlling Raw. We have the tag belts. We got the women's belt. If somebody goes and grabs an IC title, like it was great when they had the world title. I like a dominant stable. Holding all these titles. It's really cool. I like it. It's like the old NWO days. They're all walking down, gold all over the place, just controlling the show. I think that's one of the best parts of Raw.
Sure.
And the fact that if they were to hold the women's belt, an IC belt, the tag belts, there's a reason for somebody in there to go after Gunther.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The thing that I've been enjoying about a lot of the booking is they're using the veterans to help get these guys over who didn't really have much going on beforehand. As great as Liv was alone, you add somebody like Rhea into the equation after the fact, and it's like, oh, wow, now we really got something.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, and it's the same thing with McIntyre. McIntyre really wasn't doing shit, and now we got Punk really helping him. He wasn't doing a goddamn thing.
Sure, yeah.
And now look at it. It's just,
And, I think even here, I think this moment, you actually have a face, a good girl, Rhea Ripley versus the heel Liv Morgan, to where if Rhea wins it, and I think it'll be her first time as a face maybe on the main roster with a championship, because she's always been the heel with it. No?
I've always considered her an in-between.
Yeah, in-between.
As much as they've tried to make her a heel, they were always chanting for mommy.
I still think if you give it to Rhea, you still have a good story coming out of this, to where maybe you can have Liv just like picking on Dom about getting her another match or something like that, right? They could still continue that, or they can get kicked out of the Judgment Day, to where you even have Liv and Dominic doing their own thing while we build up another Judgment Day to add some other guys to that little clique or whatnot. And you kind of put everybody in their separate ways. Like, Damian Priest doesn't need to get involved anymore. If Rhea stops feuding with Liv, you kind of put her with somebody else, and now everybody kind of separates from the Judgment Day.
Carlito can go find something else that's cool.
Yes, exactly. Carlito's still trying to find something that is cool to at least find his traction. So, I don't know. So, I mean, a lot of things could happen from this. So, I personally think Rhea's walking away with the championship again. What do you think? Bad blood?
Nah.
No, not at all.
No, I'm
kicking
picking
it on
Liv. I don't think she needs it.
No?
I think I'm picking Liv, and I'm sticking with my gut, because I think as great as she was as champion, I want to see how long they can hold the audience's attention with her chasing it.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some of the best stuff. Is the worst part about faces becoming the champion is it's okay, what next? Because it's usually like this long, drawn out.
Yeah.
like fight and battle, and then we had to scratch and claw our way to the top, and then you finally get there, and then sometimes it's a letdown, like, you know, in my opinion, Cody.
Yep.
Like, he's done a great job, but I mean,
he's really had no big feud this year. It's always just been
missing.
AJ Styles twice and then Logan Paul, and there's really been no feud. It's just been characters thrown at him, and
now all of a sudden he's got thrown into this bloodline feud, and that's the best thing that's happened to him.
But would you say that's a problem of the new Rock in charge, if you will? Do you think like they're just kind of pausing his other kind of like rivalries to wait for The Rock to kind of come back or something? Or do you think they're going to have to finish that business to where they're just not really giving him a solid like heel versus face storyline right now, to where, I mean, there's stuff to talk about, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there hasn't been one solid rivalry. I hate saying that word. All year. It's just been, okay, you're gonna go against him, and that's it.
I think there's a lack of dominant heels on SmackDown.
Sure.
I mean, there's great heels, don't get me wrong, but are there heels on that roster that you would consider dominant to the point where, like, I think that list is so small, we had to put Kevin Owens in there, and you know, he has to do, poor Kevin Owens. He's like the Big Show. He's like a face 1 week, and then he has to be a heel, you know, for like a month and go back to a face. It sucks.
He falls in that Finn Balor category for me, too, to where it's like he had the Universal. He came in strong when he debuted, beating Cena and beating whatever. He came in strong, was a Universal champion, and then it was just like, we're just going to, you know, whatever. We'll just do tag titles now.
Fuck Goldberg. That's the problem, you know. It'd be all because we could have had, what was that? Was that supposed to be Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho for the Universal title? But no, Goldberg versus Brock needed the belt because, you know, that 3-minute match without a belt just meant nothing.
That's it, man. All right, so, okay, going back with Cody Rhodes. We talked about it last week really quick before we kind of got sidetracked with Dave Meltzer, but Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns had, I think, an incredible promo, a cinematic promo, if you will. And I think Jeremy Borach from TNA, is that their name, Jeremy?
Yes.
He actually wrote the promo, believe it or not. I saw after that. So, you know, I feel like it was cinematic. Like, I got lost in it. It looked like a movie, right? To where it's not your, let's stand in this room with some colored lights on the wall and do, it's like this is a backstage promo. Like, it was cool. It was unique. It caught your attention, and it's like a commercial for your next pay-per-view for, you know, building up to it. So,
and I think it's great because I think they're, you know, Netflix wants to see things a certain way. They don't want to see the same old formula. Get in the ring at the beginning of the show. I've said this a million times. Boring promo, enter the foil, and okay, hodgepodge tag team or whatever it is for the main event. Yep. This is something different. It's a different way of building. And it's like you said, it's not just the interaction between it, it's actual commercial.
Sure.
And it was well written. I love what they said to each other. That whole "you're in my way" of life. It's like, wow.
Yeah. No, so I mean, you know, it's an unexpected alliance, right? So Cody beat him at WrestleMania for the championship, and ever since that moment when Roman walked out, leaving that night, you know, the whole bloodline story kind of came undone. And then it got picked back up with Solo Sikoa being the new tribal chief, bringing in Jacob Fatu, bringing in all these other guys from New Japan, the Guerrillas of Destiny, making a new bloodline, if you will. Just when you thought you couldn't do more with this bloodline, we got another bloodline that's right behind the other bloodline. You know, it's great. It's really great storytelling. And it's, you know, like, it was one of the dominant stories for the past few years. And then just when you think we got to the culmination of it, it's still going. Maybe it's not the best of what it's been, but it's still going. And to see Roman team with Cody in this match, to the guy who beat him, to knowing that he has all these family problems, that he can't trust anybody else except for the guy he had the championship match with in Cody Rhodes. Yeah. To go against your younger versions of you, if you will, the bloodline with Solo and Jacob Fatu. I mean, yes, it's a hodgepodge tag team. We talked about, you know, like, I hate when they just throw people together, but this is like one that means something.
But it's not even just that. Yeah, we're not talking about a hodgepodge tag team that just happened at the beginning of the show.
I don't want Shapiro saying anything. That's why I wanted to say it out there. So,
you know, with a hodgepodge tag team that starts at the beginning of a particular episode and ends in the same episode with a dusty finish. I'm just waiting for the moment where, like, you know, because I have a feeling Cody and Roman are going to take the loss.
Yeah.
and there's going to be a whole lot of blame going on, and they're going to play this whole thing. But I'm waiting for Roman to look at Cody and just say, you know what? You're going to find out the hard way that absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's going to wait till you start to really feel that weight on your shoulders, because you've only had it for so long, and I carried it for this amount of time. And that's when we're going to get that Cody heel turn, and bam. I think that's when it's going to be really good television on SmackDown. Not to say that SmackDown hasn't been an enjoyable show. I mean, it hasn't been on the level of Raw. It's had its great moments. The thing that I like about it, 2 hours.
Sure.
I for some reason, I thought that Raw was still going to that 2 hours.
Yep.
Why is it still 3? I thought that was ending.
It was like another week, yeah, then we're back. Yeah, so it's like another, and then it's almost there. But yeah, it's...
Oh, God, it's just too long. And that's what I like about SmackDown. These stories, they get less time. They're just getting right to the point. But then on the other hand, with that extra hour, they have been doing that good job of building those storylines for Raw, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's SmackDown, I think we need to wait for Cody to turn heel, because I think they have way more faces that they could use to go against him.
Sure. Now, the rumor is, we don't know for sure. I think I saw this on a dirt sheet, but the rumor is having a Cody versus Roman match at Crown Jewel. I don't want to report it as this is what I saw it on the Twitter or whatever. Somebody was talking about this is the possible matchup. But if you're saying if something happens during this match at Bad Blood where we kind of start that feud again, and this has to be a what if this went in that kind of a direction and he goes against Roman again,
do you think Cody turns on him?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Like, what do you do with this?
Because Roman gave him his word.
Yeah,
he gave him his word.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's something. I mean, it's a good way to build up even more till like Mania.
I hate
to get
these
to Mania.
what ifs because of these dirt sheets. I really do.
I know.
I like.
We're gonna see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I like looking at the possibilities of what we think could happen, but when you start presenting on these websites, these
I know.
Oh, this is what's gonna happen, and then we're gonna get to Dave Meltzer. Plans change.
Plans change. Cards subject to change.
Yeah. Okay, you got it, bro.
Coming out of this, who has to look good? I think Solo Sikoa has to look the best out of this, looking as the new leader. So if they come out on top, pause. I don't know if that was gonna. If they come out on top,
I was gonna let you finish.
All right. If they come out on top,
pause.
I mean, it looks good. It looks good for Solo and looks good for Jacob. And then it can kind of start, whatever happens with Roman and Cody, it should be like, this is why we should have never trusted each other. This is why we fought each other, and blah, blah, blah. Or flip side of it, they win and they see this little bit of an alliance leading us to War Games in November, to where maybe we have like the Cody, Roman, and whomever else, the honorary Usos, or versus the other bloodline. Could we build to like a War Games kind of match with these guys still? And then maybe.
I think that's what everybody's hoping for.
Yeah, because I think that'd be perfect. You have a huge bloodline versus the old bloodline versus like a new bloodline, but Cody Rhodes. Maybe we
no
Roman, Cody, and then like
get the out of here.
No.
Listen,
Team Hogan or Team Mega Powers.
Oh my God.
I want the old school names.
Cody would be the only non-Samoan in there.
Like Samoan by adjacent Samoan. I don't know. He's Samoan by.
You want? I don't know. Oh man, I don't want to do the what ifs. I really don't, because I could
tough.
see. I could see Cody taking a pin here.
Yeah.
And I could see it being against Jacob. And then I could see that setting up Jacob and Cody. And at that point, Roman's got to go and find other allies. And
Sure.
I think that's when we start building towards November, because you only got, what? We're in October.
Yep. This is Bad Blood.
Dude,
and
another month is War Games. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, maybe 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere like that in there?
Yep.
Time to start putting the foot on the gas, because that's when you got to get Roman going to Raw and asking the IC champ, or maybe Jimmy comes back, or maybe Paul Heyman starts trying to make some negotiations for him. I mean, like
the OG bloodline, right? Versus the
dude, give me that honorary Oos. We can have the right white guy in there with the rest of the Samoans.
right white guy. Perfect.
Not Cody. No. I don't want to see that.
But all in all,
If
like
I have to see another Cody cutter. Or what do they call his stupid little kick off? I can't stand his moveset.
You don't like it?
No. I'm going to go on record. I think Cody is doing a great job. I'm just not. I'm not there.
It's not there.
I don't want to. Dude, a springboard RKO is basically what he was. No.
But a heel Cody, that's what you're excited for the heel part, though. If he comes out as a heel, you're ready for that, right?
Absolutely.
Like Ring of Honor heel, he kind of did that in Ring of Honor a little bit before AEW.
And I don't think he needs to do all these like flashy moves. I think he could get away with being the like smarmy little heel. Like, I think it's too much with him.
Yeah.
I think he just tries too hard.
Sure.
As great as he's doing, I think he could do better if he did less.
Sure.
You know where I heard that?
Where's that?
MJF.
Yeah.
He does more with doing less. You don't see him doing the flippy dippies and springboards and the like. One of my favorite things he ever does is like, like he looks like he's gonna do some high impact move and then he just grabs somebody in a chin lock. And
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I mean, at the end of the day, you think Solo and Jacob are gonna win this?
Cody takes the pin from Jacob. That's
right.
my prediction.
I think it's. I think I would like to see Solo pinning Roman, or is that too soon? Maybe it's just like Cody.
Unless you have somebody interfere like The Rock, maybe.
Sure. Well, it's very interesting. We still have to watch this whole show. So, I mean, we're going to head over to Shapiro's in a few minutes. We're going to go watch this, and maybe we'll bring it back on next week for the overview of Bad Blood. What do you think?
I think he's down for that.
All right.
I'm just curious to see what rating system he's going to use.
Make sure you stay tuned for us. We're going to be watching this. Check out next week. We'll see how Bad Blood did as becoming an A show out of the B squad, the B show. I don't know.
You up, Greedo.
It's an A show.
Yeah, come up with a better ending. Cut.
Hey, Ma, I gotta say, I've really been enjoying these episodes lately. Every single one has been must-see TV.
And you know what the best part is?
What's that?
They're doing it without using real glass or burning someone's house down.
Oh, Mom.